On this episode, we have a special gift from Josh to Savor the Burn called Talisker Storm. It's a Isle of Scotch, and we're going to have fun with it. And so are you, whether you like it or not. On this episode of Savor the Burn. Go! Welcome one and all to this soon to be very fun episode of the Savor the Burn podcast. Like I said in the intro, this bottle of Talisker Scotch or Talisker Storm Scotch was given to us by Mr. Josh. Thank you.
No problem.
Thank you so much for the bottle. Thank you so much for stopping by again.
The box says made by the sea.
Made by the sea.
And it is.
Not created by the sea, or maybe it is. I mean, we had the Jefferson Oceans. Those barrels were on a ship and rocked and rolled by the sea as it does its transit.
Well, and as with every whiskey, the distillate is put into a barrel.
Yep.
And the barrel typically we think about as being what produces that final product.
Mm-hmm.
They are full on acknowledging the fact that being seaside is the contributing factor to
Yeah, and you said that they have a lot of storms in that area.
Yeah, it's very inclement.
Awful weather.
Yeah, it's when you go down there, it's the end of the road, there's the distillery, and there's the ocean.
Oh, wow.
That's where it's at.
Says here on the back of the box, clouds begin to gather over the Black Suilian Mountains? How do you pronounce that?
I don't know.
Anyway, no disrespect. You can see the mood darken. You can taste it too. Deep smoke with swirls of spice. Feel the intensity rise as the storm sets in. And it goes on to say more stuff, but you know. But before we get into that, how are you, Mr. W2?
I am wonderful.
He's doing wonderful. And before we let this bottle get into us,
I had no idea this bottle was arriving today, so I'm super excited about it. But I also have no tasting notes, I have no information on those. So I'm hoping there's something that you can share with us from the back of it, because all I know, this is definitely a bottle that has been on my radar and has been on my list of things to get to and just have not gotten to. So once again, thank you.
Of course.
I am super excited.
Happy to share.
To get into this.
Yeah, we're looking forward to it.
He's a spicy meatball.
But before we get into this and this gets into us, make sure that you're subscribed and hitting that bell notification on the YouTube video if you're watching. If you're listening audio only, thank you. And be sure to share it with your fellow whiskey enthusiast or Scotch enthusiast. You know, we're not experts here. We're not beginners. And hopefully you're not either. If you are, get into it. Have fun. Listen to some more episodes. But you know, we're happy to have you, and let us know you're there.
So we've had Josh on for a couple episodes now. How about we just throw him right into the spotlight and see where this goes? But Savor the Burn, a podcast of cocktails and rocktails. Off the top of your head, no thought whatsoever, what's your most memorable rocktail that
involving Scotch
that you've been involved with, or maybe not involved Scotch?
Okay, so it may or may not have involved Scotch. I mean, there could be so many, or there could be very few.
Well, everything in the rock world, or at least my stories, involve some sort of whiskey. You know, one of the craziest stories I love to tell, and there's a couple people who have verified how nuts this is.
Pause for bottle pop.
You can't be mad at that.
No. So the band I was with will go unnamed because of A, I don't like them, but B, it's probably smarter to do that. So I was out on tour, and we were I think we were south of Los Alamos. You know Los Alamos is, right? It's the highest IQ per capita. It's where they worked on the Oppenheimer. That's where his camp was. Yeah. So all the scientists moved there. They stayed there. Schools built up. Town built around it. So we were leaving that place. Pause for cheers.
Oh, not yet. We still got to get our nose and talk about it. But you're telling us a story.
I can't tell a story without drinking whiskey.
No, you tell the story, and then we'll get to the whiskey soon.
So we're driving south, and we need to stop because we have a short drive, but we need to rest. And so we stop at one of these old school. Have you ever seen the movie Vacancy?
Yeah, I think so.
I'm not sure.
Yeah, so it's like an old school 60s motel. It says motel. It's the long thing. The small rooms are on the front. The suites are on the back. We stop, and we're like, let's just get some rooms for the night. And, there's usually, you pour as many people as you can into as fewer rooms as possible. And you try to get some sleep. And it's New Mexico, so we know by 6 a.m. it's going to be hot as fuck. So it's like, let's just go to bed as soon as we can.
But at least it's a dry heat.
It is a dry heat. Lots of nosebleeds. So I go in and I ring the bell, and I ring it again, and nobody answers. And then I hear this shout, "Hey, I'll be up in 2 seconds." And I realize, we woke him up. It's like, 12:30 in the morning or something like that. Guy comes up, total boxer's wife beater scenario. "Hey, do you guys need some rooms?" Like, yeah, we're coming through. And he goes, "Man, he goes, as you can tell, we don't get many travelers." And I was like, "Yeah." And he goes, "I'll tell you what, it's like 1 a.m. almost. $20 a room, as many rooms as you want." And I was like, "Really? There's like 8 of us." And he was like, "Yeah." And I was like, "Done." It's like the cost of one Motel 6, right? And I tell everybody, I was like, "Hey, you get your own rooms." And he goes, "Hey, since you bought so many rooms," he goes, "I'll give you a suite on the back." And I was like, "Really?" And he's like, "Yeah." I was like, "Sick, dude." He's like, "But you gotta hang out because my old lady's got to get up and clean a couple of the rooms. We only have 3 that are clean because we don't get a lot of travelers." Like, "Yeah, no problem." I was like, "Is there a town close by?" And he's like, "Yeah, if you go about 5 miles back, there's a gas station. You can still buy whatever you want." I was like, "Okay." So we go get some sodas and beers, and we're just sitting on the parking blocks. The lady who comes out is very well fed and in a muumuu, and she starts cleaning the rooms, and she was very grouchy. But then we woke her up, and I was like, "Sorry, we gave you money." So anyways, he starts helping her and blah, blah, blah. And he goes, "Hey, your suite's ready if you want to go back there." So I go in there, and it is your traditional circle bed. It's propped up with a brick, but it used to be able to rotate. But that whole feature's gone.
Right.
Heart-shaped hot tub. Like, it was it was the ultimate fucking, I was like, I am so stoked. I crash, right? I wake up, because like by 6 a.m. on my side, sun is just beating in. I'm like, I'm up. It was like 7 or 8 in the morning or something. So I come around the side, and this guy is sitting out having a cigarette on the parking lot. He goes, "What's up?" And he's like, "Man, I didn't sleep well. There's a light all night while I was sleeping." I was like, "What do you mean there's a light all night?" He's like, "Cool, come check it out." So I go in his room, he shuts the door, pulls the curtains and everything, and sure as shit. So you know the shitty motel rooms, old school. You come in, bed on the left, AC unit, TV, Gideon Bible, sink, mirror, toilet, shower. There's a light coming out of the bathroom. No lights are on, but there's a light coming from the bathroom. So we go in there, and I realize it's coming from the mirror edges. And so I go up to the mirror, and I put my finger on it, and sure enough, my finger touches my finger. And I go, "It's a 2-way mirror." And he's like, "What?" And I go, "Hold on." Went out to the van, grabbed the tire iron, broke the mirror. There's a catwalk between all the rooms. There are cracked needles, empty cans, bottles, newspapers, graffiti. It is like something out of a horror movie. And naturally, we go, "Fuck this." We get back there, and we start walking through it. And there's a corridor between all the rooms, and you can see into every single room through the mirror. We go down the steps. We go down in the basement, and it is like an episode of Hoarders. There's mountains of magazines and newspapers and toys and food boxes and all sorts of stuff. And in the middle of this room is this mattress.
And when you say toys, do you mean toys?
Like,
or toys?
Like rocking horses,
Okay.
unpackaged G.I. Joe action figures stacked, like crazy
Not
shit.
dildos.
No, not those. I'm sure they were there, but in the dim light and the smell, I was like, well, I don't want to investigate. But there's a mattress on the floor with the two people that we met earlier, and they are passed the fuck out. They don't know we're there. They're gacked out. They have to be.
Wow.
So we're like, fuck. And there's a staircase that goes up into the front lounge. Get into the till. We take our cash. We get in the van. We tell everybody, yo, get in the van. We got to fucking leave. Mm-hmm. We fuck off, and it's dead quiet. New Mexico desert. We're driving south. And then like 10 minutes into it, one of the guys goes, they totally watched me jerk off, didn't they? And everybody goes, yeah, me too. And like, end of story. So that's one of the craziest tour stories I've got. And it was verified by a couple bands I was out on tour with. I was like, yeah, it's off this highway. And they go, dude, we stayed there. It's fucking crazy. And they said, go back by, watch. And we went back by, and only thing that's there is the billboard and the propane tank out front, but they leveled the building, caved it in, and they covered it with gravel. It's gone. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, it's like Bob Rodella's house. It just fucking leveled it. It's nothing but a gravel lot now. So I noticed there's honey and peat, honey and smoke. There's it smells like almond,
Definitely nutty.
Yep.
Amaretto still on the palate, I don't know. It's viscous, just on the smell, oily,
Well, I get that oily,
it smells thick.
peppery thing.
Yeah.
But I get vanilla and honey.
Mm-hmm.
Vanilla?
There's definitely a peaty smokiness to it, but it is missing the briny, salty, band-aidy.
There's
medicinal.
I also thought like orange marmalade.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah.
A marmalade for sure. That's a good
It's
one.
like sweet and it's orange and it's ready to go on the palate.
All right.
Let's go.
It's drier than I thought it would be.
Yeah.
All right.
That's the pepperiness.
When some of that sweetness moves out of the way, you can really taste everything else that it has to offer.
Ooh, I
Spit
like
the words out, Demi.
I like that a lot.
Dry.
There's a sharpness I can't put on it.
It's good though. It is good though. And the finish seems short.
It's very short. It's in and out.
But yeah, peppery.
Yeah, very peppery.
You pass me that box here.
It's like it's like
Sir.
it's like a zest or like riney. Like there's a fruit rind to it.
You think what kind of fruit rind?
It's like kind of orangey.
Like a citrus?
Yeah, it's very citrus. There's a kind of a nutmeg-ish thing to it, but it's so short I can't really pick it out.
From the oldest distillery on the Isle of Skye.
Pretty sure this is still classified as a Speyside.
Some of the sweetness from the nose for me shows back up on the finish.
Yeah. It's even
weird.
throughout.
It's like it's missing on the palate, but it comes back. It comes back to not haunt you, but like, hey, sorry I left you high and dry. Mildly sweet. It's like, I don't know, bittersweet. We said
it's bitter
bittersweet
more
with a couple others.
There's definitely something about it that, if it is a true Speyside, I feel like there's something about it that really causes it to ride the fence between Speyside and Islay.
I get that.
I hopped on bourbonbanter.com. They have a review on here. Jeff notes say one thing, but I scrolled down here to brand notes and see what it is that they have to say about it. The brand, the Talisker brand. Region says an exuberant expression of this island whiskey. Appearance, full gold, 100% agree with that. Nose, powerful, fresh, clean, and growing in complexity like a gathering storm. Way to fucking sell it, guys. Maltiness with ripe red berry fruit moves to smoke, brine, and an explosion of pepper.
Yeah,
so
pepper.
Yeah, we agreed on the pepper.
Yep.
Nobody said anything about briny.
No.
Not on the nose. Actually, through none of it, nobody said briny anything. Let's see, body medium. I don't know what that means. Palate, mellow and rich, then very spicy. A pure tongue coating sweetness. So that tells me it's oily. I do agree with that.
It's very short.
Tongue coating sweetness. I don't get the sweetness. Joins in a nutty smokiness. You said nutmeg, baking spice. Let's see, to embrace those spicier notes. So, yeah, baking spice, nutmeg in specific. Yeah. I almost might say it's like mixed nuts.
Yeah.
Without the salt.
That pepperiness though
Like
on the back
Brazil
end.
nuts and pecans and cashews and peanuts, in that bar mix or whatever. I do this. Like that makes any fucking sense. Unless you've been there. If you know, you know.
Can I get a side of?
You're right. And the finish, it says drier and of medium length.
Very
we said
dry.
short. We said bittersweet. Dry we found on the palate. But anyway, it says here drier and of medium length with a lasting smooth aftertaste. Which in which
smooth.
light peaty burnt embers can be found. Okay, so light peatiness, yes, burnt. It's got burnt all over it, I think.
Burnt embers?
Burnt embers? I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't think I've ever tasted a burnt ember. Do you guys agree on that, though?
The bitterness is almost like dark chocolate at the end.
Is that like dark chocolate, or it tastes like?
No, it's like dark chocolate.
Okay.
It doesn't taste like dark chocolate.
Okay.
It has that bitter snap.
Yeah, so really bittersweet.
But that's the pepperiness, I think, of it. And I guess you could call it medium, but I think it's short.
Yeah.
It's kind of in and out.
Yeah, you can't always go by what the distillery says on their notes. We have learned through the passage of time. But I mean, we do use them as a touchstone to come back and say, well, what do they have to say about it?
Yeah.
Because sometimes our brains, our palate, reverse engineers that and go, oh, you know what? You're right. I do taste like dark berries, like cherry.
Yeah.
Like I totally get that.
I get more of a citrus rind out of it.
Yeah. Especially after all the orange marmalade we found on the nose. This one here, it's really good. I think this would make a great candidate for a bottle share. Like you take it to a party. I think people would really dig it. It'd make a great cocktail. I think,
whiskey, yeah.
If not the Godfather, then something else. What was the one that we made with the Highland Park 12? The lemony one?
Oh, that was the
Scotch sour. I think this would be a great Scotch sour because it has different stuff in it than the Highland Park 12 does for sure.
Had I not had Lagavulin or Ardbeg, this would have taken its place. But once you have Lagavulin, Lagavulin has that full body. It's just the better version, in my opinion. But
I agree.
it's good. But it's a spicy meat. But pepper is the smokiness, and the pepper is what really comes out. Yeah, it's Karens around the world couldn't handle this. Too much pepper.
Oh, Karens.
They're the worst.
It's really good on the nose. I think it was
It is.
better on the nose than it was on palate and finish.
I can agree. The finish isn't great. The finish is the weakest spot of it. You almost need to drink it more because you got to get past the finish.
Yeah.
Bottle presentation though, that's a beautiful box. It's your
That's a great looking box.
you said what is it? This is indicative of a Speyside bottle
Yes.
shape.
100%. Look at it. It's very close to the Islay, very close to how Lagavulin does their stuff.
Yeah.
Very close to how Ardbeg does their stuff. Other side of the island.
Okay. So regionally, this is what you would expect from that from that area. Of,
I love how the front label of that, they have cut out the coastline.
Yeah.
on the bottom of
As
it.
that.
That's right where it is.
Super cool.
So like when you go down to the distillery, you're looking at this channel. And you can't see this from there, but like I've been there and you can see this channel. It's wild, but it gets a lot of snow down there.
That is awesome.
Which is weird for Scotland. In my opinion, I've been there in really cold weather, and the only time I've seen snow was at Talisker. So
Okay, Well,
And Ozzy agreed.
Yes.
Ozzy came to tell us his opinion, which hopefully he doesn't.
Like, I'm here to poop.
Hopefully he doesn't give us his personal notes for us in the box.
That has
over
happened
there.
before.
He's done that.
We see you, Ozzy.
You can have a taste if you want. He's like, Dad. Oh yeah, I think the nose is way better on this one.
Yeah, we picked up so much on the nose. Honey and peat and almond. We could. It smelled like it was a thicker whiskey, a thicker Scotch. You know, it just smelled oilier, more.
But
and then
again,
we moved on to the palate, and it was still very good. Still very good.
Same region.
Less notes.
You put that against the Aberlour.
Right.
I could drink the Aberlour a lot more than that.
Oh, yeah.
Aberlour's a lot smoother. This is, to me, a very dock worker Scotch. This is a fucking man's man Scotch, you know? Like, it is potent.
He's been outside in the weather.
I need to warm up. I need
to
something.
get through this shit.
Yeah.
That wakes you up.
Yeah.
Yep.
It's good.
After a long, hard day at work, this wakes you up. Hi, Ozzy.
See?
What did you give it on the nose, Ozzy? Here we go. You know, last time I picked him up to pet him, he pulled off my microphone. We had to trash the episode. So there he stays.
Yep. What'd you give it on the nose?
On the nose, I gave it a 425. How about you, sir?
Same.
Same? 425?
Smells really good.
Girls, same.
Damn. All right.
Across the board.
That's something we can work with. How about the palate?
Oh, I gave it 4 3/4.
4 3/4. I gave it an even 4.
Same with the 4.
All right.
Yeah. All right.
It's solid.
I'll write that down. Where are you at on the finish?
375.
Same.
325.
So for you, it feels like the palate really dropped off.
The nose is great. The palate is good.
Yeah.
And then it just is gone. And I'm left with burn.
Yeah.
And
The finish, we didn't have really any toasting note or any tasting notes other than short finish, bittersweet, and smoky. So whatever. That just is what it is to our palates. How about bottle presentation?
I gave it 4 3/4. It's a great looking box.
That's fair.
It's not a bad looking bottle.
Fair. I gave it a 5. I love the shape of the bottle. I've always loved that shape. It's got, it looks like painted or dyed wood.
Is that natural cork?
You know, yeah, and with a cool natural cork. It sounded good when we popped the bottle. Most do anyway, but not that that's part of the rating system, but still.
I love the bottom of the label. That's
yeah,
the coastline
cut to the coastline.
And that box is incredible artwork.
Yeah.
There's
There's no printing on the inside of the box.
There is no printing. So you didn't dock it for it, but you didn't give anything because of it.
No.
4 3/4.
Yeah, 4 3/4. Easy peasy. And that's where you're at.
Same.
Yeah.
It's great. I mean, there's not a lot of bottles and boxes out there that are laminate like this.
Full 4-color.
Very gloss.
Printed.
Yeah.
You got the shiny silver. It's not doing a lot to protect the bottle, like even the Ardbeg. I mean, you kind of have that.
It's fairly thick, though.
It is fairly thick.
The box itself.
It's a traditional safe bottle. That's a very, you could close your eyes and that's a million different bottles.
Yeah.
But
it could be a Dewar's. It could be a Cutty Sark.
Yeah.
It could be.
Yeah. But the coastline, that's really cool. Knowing the
Even
distillery.
Jameson.
Yeah, 100%. It's a safe play by Diageo. It's a very safe play. The colors are great. There's not a lot of whiskeys that do this color.
Yep.
They're really playing by the sea out of it.
Yep.
It's cool.
I think it works. I gave it a 5. I don't think I could be happier with it. If I could, well, we'll find out next release of the Talisker Storm. So that brought my final score to 8.5. How about you?
At an 8.125.
Not bad.
And 8 1/4.
8 1/4? Well, shit, dude.
Pretty close.
We're all right there.
I think it's good. I think it's a great whiskey. I don't think it's the best representation of Scotch whiskeys for especially somebody getting into it. but I do think it's a great representation of what I consider Speyside. That peppery thing. Out of all the scotches, if I had to pick one and I had to say, somebody watching this, if you're trying to get into Scotch, start with Aberlour, start with Dalmore, start with Macallan, 15 and older, start with even Dewar's, the small batch 32. The
only experience I have with Dewar's is their base level.
No, you.
So
I would throw out there the Glengrant 12.
Yeah,
Grant 12, dude. Yeah, that was
That
a
was
great bottle.
amazing Speyside.
Yeah. But I think this is an advanced Scotch drinker. I think this is somebody who knows what they want and they want to go for something super spicy, in and out. I don't think this is a sit back and relax Scotch. I think this is I need to drink real fast.
What's MSRP on something like this?
That's about a $55 bottle.
Okay. I don't know if we talked about that with all of the other ones. And what's the proof on this one? 45, so 45.8. So
That's 90.
Yeah, 96.
91.6.
Yeah, it's a little higher proof.
Yeah, 91. Yeah, 91.6.
And I think that's where you get that heat on it. But it doesn't last long. You don't get. Nobody here talked about the grain. It doesn't shine through. They talked about the smoke and the pepper. And that's indicative of that ocean, seawater, saltwater pepperiness.
And sometimes we don't even pick up on the grain. We don't know that the grain is even there until the second note.
Yeah.
What we call the second nose. We call the second nose.
And the smoke kind of took a back
the glass
seat
has
to
to be
the
really
spicy
dry.
Yes.
pepperiness.
That's Speyside to me. I
Right.
think peppery when I think Speyside.
Yep.
And this is interesting
Yeah.
because I think it really wins on the nose.
Yeah. On second nose, though, I mean, it's got to be pretty damn dry.
It's kind of
to get
got
there.
it's got a leathery kind of thing to it.
On second,
Yeah.
it does.
Not a lot of grain.
It's like light oatmeal. You know,
Yeah,
that kind
there is a very
It's super,
there's-
super light with maybe a tinge of honey
there's a little sweetness, but
and a dusty, leathery kind of a
second nose for
thing.
me just gave more of the band-aidy medicinal flavor to it.
Yeah.
That didn't even show up on nose palate.
Well,
finish.
I was gonna say that showed up more on second nose
Yeah.
than it did
yeah,
first.
Yeah, yeah, and most of that was leather.
yeah, it's a very leathery.
So that's wild. I mean,
Yeah.
you know, if you haven't tried the whole second nose thing, make sure you have yourself a quality whiskey glass. You know, if you don't have a whiskey glass like these Glencairn glasses, just one, you can always go to savortheburn.com/shop. Scroll down, we have them in there. Two, if you don't want to buy these that make this incredible sound when you cheers with your friends and your family, look for something that tulips out and tapers up, right? So the spirit has room to kind of bloom, but then concentrate when you bring it up to your nose. So it doesn't have to be these. Like, you don't have to buy them from us. You're not even buying them from us. You know, you're supporting a small business out there somewhere through an affiliate link that we have on the website.
The other thing I recommend with these glasses is breathe through your mouth once your nose is in it.
Oh
You get a different smell.
Well, that is different. That's all smoke
Yeah.
when you do it that way.
When you do just the nose, the ethanol can trick you, but if you do it through your mouth, it pulls in.
Right. Yeah. Sometimes we have such high proof, spirits, like we have to go one nose, and we.
Yep.
Your sister taught me that one. Like, she's like, oh, well, I have to go in sideways. I'm thinking, like, you look like a chicken.
Or a flyby.
Yeah.
Oh,
Well,
flyby.
that's why you don't pull with your nose on the first one. Pull with your mouth. And once you get used to it, then you can pull with your nose.
Yeah.
That's what I do.
Yeah. Some of them, though, the proof is so high, they're so sharp. It's like,
Yeah.
my eyes, they hurt.
We have a
Why is my whiskey trying to kill me?
we have a Rigger's one of their private stocks.
Okay.
That the label in the bottle says 148.8 proof.
Something. Hazmat.
Which is technically hazmat.
Yeah.
I went to an event that bottle was available for, and one of the distillers at Riggers that worked on that bottle was there. And so I was talking with him and, giving him stickers and all the things. And I'm like, I cannot wait to get this on the podcast. And he chuckles and he's like, yeah, he goes, just a side note, the 148.8 proof that's on the label. So yeah, about that, he goes, when we first pulled that and decided to print the labels, that's what it was. By time we actually bottled it, when we tried it again, it was like 151 point something. It had gone up. It may be 148 on the bottle, but it is 151 plus.
Yeah.
And it drank just like he said.
Bet. Well, Garrison Brothers does that cowboy bourbon, and it's 141. Oh, dude.
Cowboy bourbon?
It's made like they used to drink back on the ranches, and it's like $300 a bottle, and you have to get in a mile line long to get it.
Yeah. Not when I can get Jim Beam White Label for $22 down here at the corner store.
I'll just go get a drink from
for $18.
I'll get a good swig for $2.79 at Quick Trip right out of the pump.
I can get any bottle I want for free if I just pull on the fucking ski mask.
Yeah.
We had a good time reviewing this bottle, and we totally recommend this as a neat or a cocktail or as a
stellar cocktail.
Or would make a great gift.
It's going to be a stellar cocktail.
Oh yeah, for sure. Or would make a great gift for your, hard-working Scotch enthusiast. So if you like this episode, thank you. Let us know somehow in the comments. Hit the fucking like button, you dirty sock chuckers.
Fucking cowards.
Share it with your fellow Scotch enthusiasts. If you've had this, let us know. Let us know what you think. If you liked it, loved it, hated it, if you're indifferent, whatever, that's fine. We would like to know what you think. And thank you for, tuning into this episode of the Savor the Burn podcast. One last time. My name is Jonathan. That's W2. This is Josh. You can find him at
The American Josh on Instagram.
At The American Josh on Instagram. No matter who you are, where you are, what you're drinking, and who you're drinking it with, never forget. Keep on burning.